This video gives you a quick preview of some of the new features that we're working on for the dialog component to be released as part of a optional feature pack sometime later this year. So what I'm going to demonstrate here is first the dialog actually working, and then I'll go back and show how we set it up. So this is a simple dialog showing name and address information, and this dialog has been bound to a table. In this case it's a MySQL customer table, and if you look at the dialog, you can see that we're displaying data from one of the records in the dialog, and we now have three different ways of navigating through the records in the table. So I can go here and press the next button, which navigates through the records, or I can basically go to the slider over here and drag on the slider and move to a particular record, and then when I drop, we go and update the displayed data, so you can see there. And then of course what you can see is also is as we drag the slider, the help text shows where you would be if you were to drop at this point. So if I were to drop right now, we would be on Martin Dawson, and there in fact is Martin Dawson. And then another way of selecting the record that you want is from this list view, which is showing all of the data in the underlying table. Well, actually the first X many rows, whatever you chose to bring back to the client. So if I go click there on Dave McCormick, we're going to navigate directly to that record. And then finally, you can see here when I click this show hide, we show some additional controls in the dialog. And if I go here and type in, say, California, and then click the search button, we go back to the server and do a search, finding only California records. You can see our list view now is updated. We're showing one of 7 records, and if I click on a record there, I can navigate and navigate there or navigate there. So also notice that everything is synchronized. So if I go now and I click in the list view, the slider updates and the record there updates. If I go here and click on say previous, I'm just trying to do it so that you can see both the slider. So the slider updates and also the list view updated as well. So everything in all of these different views are all synchronized. So let's go back now and look at how this was done. So I'm going to go back to design mode, and I'm going to go now to the server-side events, and in the onDialog initialize event you can see that this new feature pack will expose a method called load primary keys for parent table. So in fact that's exactly what we've done over here. We've done the get parent keys for parent table, and I'm going to go now into action scripting to see how this action was defined. So what this action does is goes to the database and retrieves the primary keys for all of the records, in this case a maximum of 1,000 records, and loads them into memory. So now I have a list of all the primary keys around. So then I've also specified that I'd like to display some additional columns of information to describe each primary key. So you can see if I click this button over here, you can see I've pulled back an expression that says first name and last name, which is column 1. I've pulled back the state field as well, and I've also pulled in the city field. So these are additional fields to describe the primary key. Then I've specified that that there's going to be a slider control. So I've chosen a slider control, and I've also specified the container on the dialog where the slider control should be placed. And there's my template for the bubble help that is displayed as I move along. And then I've also displayed that there's a list view control as well, and I've specified the ID of the container where the list view is to be placed. So if I go now and look at my controls, you can see here's my container that contains the list view, and then here's my container for the slider. So let me pause now and pick this up in the next video.